What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is. This is your boy, the historian, in the place to be. We're in the BirdCage LLC live tonight, baby. Unfortunately, Mr. Lynn Cain had to cancel on us tonight, but it's okay. We definitely gonna keep you covered because we got the Falcons schedule that dropped last night. Gonna talk about some games and a few other things, man. So guess what? At the end of the day, we got to go ahead and get this thing popping. So sit back, relax, enjoy because we got you covered, baby. The Birdcage LLC. Let's go.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
What's going on? What's going on? Let's get it, man. You already know what it is. Go ahead and hit that like and that subscribe button for us so we can go ahead and keep continuing to bring you a lot of the great content that we bring you. We apologize once again for Mr. Lynn Cain having to reschedule, but hey, he's going to be back. He's already talked to me. We got everything squared away. But tonight, we're going to go ahead and get into the scheduling for the Falcons. But before we get into that, I got to go ahead and bring the magnificent Birdcage crew into the building. And also, we're going to be opening this thing up to fans tonight. Before we do all of that, let's go ahead and bring this thing in. We got K-Dub and we got Coach Cam in the building tonight. What's going on, fellas?
How you doing? How you doing, everyone? Glad to be in the building tonight. Let's get into all the topics. Great to hear to be in the building with listeners and subscribers and followers out there of the Birdcage, man. It's been an interesting week. I'm ready to get into it. Glad to see you today, Coach Cam and the historian. That's it all. That's it.
Hey, man, you already know what it is, man. We definitely gonna get this thing cracking tonight because it's a lot of stuff coming. Cam, you know you can unmute yourself and talk at any time, bro. You sitting back in the cut, man. We don't do, well, it's just like you having a plate of food and you sitting there eating and you ain't sharing with us, man. Go ahead and share some verbiage with us, man. Let us know you're alive, bro.
I just came back. I literally just walked in the house from work, so like I'm trying to get situated and everything like that. So just really excited about what's about to happen tonight, especially with my guys. So let's get to it.
Hey, man, you definitely want to say what's going on to all the viewers that's out here, man. Thank you guys for coming in. And like I said, we're having, and I guess there's some streaming issues going on X right now. Like I said, we're actually trying to get that squared away for our X subscribers, formerly known as Twitter, and we're just trying to get that squared away, man. So we're in a position now where we definitely are on a couple of different platforms. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to be opening this thing up to fans momentarily so they can come in with us. So the first thing that we're going to do, as we always do, coming into the building or whatnot, we have what we call the Falcon area. It's pretty much the notes and news that I drop. You know, normally the guys just sit back, chill. I'm just gonna give you the headlines of what's going on, and then we get into our Dirty Birds topics. But one of these headlines or whatnot, we are gonna talk about. I'm gonna open this thing up for us to talk about, but normally we're gonna do it like this. So the Falcons release outside linebacker 80 Agonje or whatnot. He had a foot injury last year. He was starting to come on at one point the year before, but that foot injury kept him out. Unfortunately, hey, that's a casualty of the business. You didn't produce last year, so they didn't see what you were about. So, hey, they had to cut him about $3 million, add it back to the salary cap. So we have a little bit more money in the tank right now. Next, we signed Anthony Johnson, who's a former Green Bay Packer. And then we also signed Shane Crushane. Now, Anthony Johnson has had time with Coach, excuse me, sitting here getting ready to choke him on words. He actually had time with Coach Gray. So when you look at this or whatever, this is a Coach Gray guy. They're bringing him in, and looking at this here, Trey Flowers got released from the Falcons. So this guy is going to probably end up taking Trey Flowers' spot, and he's a Jerry Gray guy. He's going to have everything going for him. Now, this is what I'm opening up for you guys. With Jerry Gray being able to be we might as well say he's the defensive back whisperer, because there's a lot of guys that have come up under him and been productive. How do you think that Jerry Gray's insight is going to be great for this room? Because he's a former first round draft pick, All-American at Texas, and then you got Jimmy Lake, who also was a cornerback at University of Eastern Washington. So how do you think that this defensive back room is going to play out? Because they didn't draft any DBs. You can go, K-Dub.
Well, okay. Well, my thoughts is it's gonna pay dividends for all the cornerbacks and secondary that we have on the team, because we have three former secondary coaches on our team. We're loaded with secondary help and tutelage and ideas, and those guys can put their brains together to come together and form an awesome and outstanding secondary. You know, so I think this is just my opinion. I gotta think outside the box, and I think we're gonna make some heads move. Like I said, you can tell by the schedule. I believe the NFL knows, the powers that be knows that we're going to be good this year, or they wouldn't put us on that many primetime games. I mean, it's hard to believe, because we've been sorry for the last 67 years and we couldn't get right. but
hey, he's not lying. He's telling the truth. There's no need. There's no need to sugarcoat it. He's telling the truth.
Absolutely. I mean, but the truth hurts. But I mean, it is what it is. You see Falcon fan right behind me, so you know what I'm saying. So it's that hard, stay hard, but it's like you got to keep it real with yourself. But now we made people mad, man. That's why we're the talk of the league right now. That's why they can't stop talking about our quarterback situation, because we did what we didn't Falcon. You know, people like, oh, they're Falcon. Falcon will probably be going to go get who the media wanted us to go get, and going to go get one of those pass rushers. But you know what I'm saying? We did what a lot of teams, now that the smoke and the dust has settled, now it's a lot of rumors and stories that a lot of teams want to trade up and go get Penix themselves. So now that's why it's a little egg on their face for about 4 or 5 franchises that were trying to move up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And now I know we only OTAs. I know ain't no real heat and no fire coming at those quarterbacks, but both of them boys look sharp.
Yeah,
Both of them.
I mean, when you look at it, the quarterback room is always going to be on point, and it's always going to be nice when you have competition, because you're going to have guys pushing you. But my thing is, today we got to get on this defense. We've been beating the quarterback topic. Everybody's been beating that topic. Everybody's been talking about it, and everybody's not paying attention to what else we're adding right now. And that's been something. Because I said this here, the quarterback room, once we got Penix and Cousins, that's a room I'm not going to spend all that time talking about. I'm worried about the secondary, because on our defense, that was the weak link of the defense last year. Not Jesse Bates.
No.
Jesse Bates played his butt off. But all I'm saying is, when you look at it, Clark Phillips III is going to be a great slot corner. Helms needs to take Richie Grant's spot, period.
We're gonna have a rotating defense, historian.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
we
we
gonna
bringing in
have it,
something.
but in that secondary, that's not where you're gonna be have. You're not gonna really have the heavy rotation like that because guess what?
Yeah.
When you look at the corners, you're gonna have these guys as Coach Prime, Daryl Green, and all these legendary corners have always said it. If you're the number one guy or if you're the best cover corner, guess what? You're gonna travel. In other words,
Mm-hmm.
you're going with the best player on the field.
Yeah.
And with the teams that we're gonna be playing against in the first 3 weeks that we're gonna dive into, you got to
Mm-hmm.
have somebody that's going to be there because AJ has not been consistent at all,
Nope.
period. And that right there is a concern. First round draft pick, a guy that has had high expectations. He had one
Yeah.
good season, and
I
he
just
did, and
feel
he
like
vanished.
we're uh we're just like I said. I feel like it's other teams that will take AJ right now. I mean, I just feel like we're just hard on him. I feel like with better coaching and better secondary coaching and all the tutelage that Raheem Morris has and Jimmy Lake and Mr. Jerry Awesome Man Gray. Everybody working on the boys, man. I mean, they had a year with they had some time with Jerry Gray, but more time under great coaching will make you a better player. I mean, I'm just saying, I didn't like anything about Arthur Smith's staff except for Jerry Gray and Ryan Nielsen. But Ryan Nielsen didn't seem to like he wanted to work with a black head coach. So he took the best offer and went and ran off. I
Or
don't even think he didn't even stay around to get to take an interview with Raheem Morris.
so hold up. We not gonna throw the race thing in here. I get where you coming from with that, but we gotta look at it from a business standpoint. Let's look at it like this. Raheem Morris came in and brought his own staff. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
only person that was really retained was the special teams coach and Jerry Gray. Now, it's not a race thing; it's who you bringing into the building. Because at the end of the day, Coach Brandon said it, Coach Smith said it on the interview with him. When you're coming in and you have to trust your livelihood with somebody else, both of their philosophies are different. Now, it wasn't the
I,
fact that he didn't
I,
want to work with him; it was the
I,
fact that
I,
okay, no,
I'm
no, I'm
just
just
saying.
saying,
I'm just
I'm
telling you
just
what it
saying.
looked like. I'm just
I
saying what it
mean,
looked
but
like.
here's the thing:
No.
it's not that at all. That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to make you understand. It's not that at all. It's the fact that they offered him more money in Jacksonville than what he was going to get here in Atlanta, and
Yeah.
also he was going to have free reign with that defense. That was the reason why he left. It wasn't because he didn't want to work for a black coach. Because guess what? If he didn't want to work for a black coach, he darn sure wouldn't have worked for Terry Fontenot having a black man in charge, a guy that he had to
Mm-hmm.
answer to. And
Yep.
Fontenot was the one who brought him in.
No, I ain't
So
said. I'm not. It's one thing for him to be the GM, but it's another thing to work side by side with the head
But
coach.
the
All right.
thing is,
So
though, the GM still gonna have to give him orders though with those
exactly.
players that they bring in. So he has to take orders from somebody, and that's a
So
man that's above Raheem that he got to take orders from.
I, I,
so one of the resident coaches, with the Birdcage, to kind of answer what you were saying, K Dub, it's not that he didn't want to work for Raheem or whatever the case is. Because here's the thing with Raheem, he already knew who he wanted to bring in. You know what I'm saying? So he already had an idea of who he wanted to be his DB's coach, his DC, things like that. So with me currently, I'm having to replace the DB coach because the guy that I had, he's leaving the state. So now I have to go out and find the best, candidate to replace him. So it's not about finding a black guy, white guy, whatever. It's the guy whose philosophy matches up with mine. So if you look at Raheem, he probably runs a totally different type of defense. Like with Ryan Nielsen, he's more of an attacking guy. So if you look at the numbers from last year, we were middle of the pack when it comes to rushing defense. So with Raheem, he more so wants to kind of have a set type of defense where the DBs play lockup defense, where it gives the defensive line time to get home to the quarterback, instead of vice versa, where the D line is forcing the action, and the DBs are feasting off of mistakes. It's in reverse. Raheem wants the defense to play lockdown football for 3 to 7 seconds, where the defense can, penetrate the offensive line to get to the quarterback. So it's not a black and white thing. He didn't want to play for Raheem and like that. Sometimes philosophies just don't match up, and that's probably what really happened more than anything other than, race or whatever the case is. But if you truly look at our DBs and the defense that they're already talking about, look at what Coach Gray has done with Clark Phillips already. Look what he's done with JB3 already. Look what he's done with DeMarco Helms. Both of those guys came in around game 3, game 4, and they took off with flying colors. The one thing that I will say about AJ Terrell, as great as a cornerback coach as Coach Gray is, AJ Terrell has declined the last 2 years, and last year was the most visual that I can really see on tape, because pretty much he reverted back to the AJ Terrell in the championship game when he played at Clemson. When you saw him and then you didn't see him, that was AJ Terrell all last season. You seen him on the field, but you ain't see him because he kept getting torched, he kept getting beat. So there's a lot of things that might be going on with AJ that we don't know as the fans. But when you have a guy like Coach Lake and Coach Gray, you have another coach on the field in Bankhead Bates, it's only going to force those guys to get better, because if you're not going to get better, you already know how this team is going to move. They moving people out of here quickly. We've never seen that throughout the history of the Falcons franchise. So once these guys truly understand their position, as well as how that rotation is going to work, you're going to see a lot of these guys get pushed out the door, and other guys because they want competition. They want the best 53 men on this field. So if the best 53 can't hack it in OTAs and mini camp, stuff like that, we're going to see a whole bunch of transactions coming out. Plus, there's a lot of guys that's getting ready to get cut also. Yeah. So it wasn't really a need for us to go out and get a DB in the draft, because it's so many guys around the league that you can coach up. We have guys on the team now that were on the practice squad last year. So Coach Gray did a great job last year. He's only going to do a better job this year.
Well, moving on to the next topic, because you're speaking about another DB, because we're still in the Falconry area right now. And this is a guy by the name of Jerry Jacobs, former South Cobb star, played at Arkansas State, ended up at Arkansas, sat out his last 6 games at Arkansas because he wanted to get ready for the draft, played for the Detroit Lions. Very solid piece that could actually come in and actually make some things happen. He had 55 solo tackles and I think two interceptions last year, and he had one forced fumble last year, as well as a couple of tackles for losses. So this is a guy that could actually come in and be an immediate impact. And he's not a big name guy. Unless you watch college football, you don't really know much about Jerry Jacobs. Or if you're really a student of the game, you really won't know who he is, because this is a Jerry Gray type of guy. Don't have to be a big name dude. He's a guy that can come in and ball. Because everybody remembers Corrigan Finnegan out of Tennessee. That was a Jerry Gray guy. Now, minus the beatdown that he took, I had to bring back the beatdown. I know you two remember that beatdown he took from a future Hall of Fame wide receiver.
Yeah. I remember. We gonna keep on pushing over there.
Hey, all I'm gonna say, as long as none of our DBs get beat down like that, I'm fine.
It might have to be a couple of other people getting some fines. Don't let your fellow Falcon get beat down. You better go over there and jump in that thing.
I'm telling you. Andre Johnson is a big boy though. That is a dude that and he got hands. So that was a guy, like, it should have been 2 or 3 of them jokers on him. But I'm not trying to start up no fights or nothing like that. But this is a Jerry Gray type of player. You can look up his film, local guy, South Cobb star, and, born and raised in the city. The one thing I've noticed that this franchise has started to do, they're starting to bring a lot of hometown guys or a lot of home state guys or guys that are close within proximity of Atlanta, whether it's Tennessee, Florida, whatnot. They're bringing a lot of local guys back, whether they were local in college or whether they were local in high school and they were known in their communities or whatnot. They're starting to bring a lot of the hometown talent back, even if they went to different colleges. So you look at all the great talent that has come out of the state of Georgia from high school to college, and It's amazing. And then you also look at the state of Florida. They're bringing a lot of Florida boys in here too, quietly, because your franchise quarterback that was drafted is a St. Pete boy. That is a Central Florida boy. So if you look at it, they're bringing a lot of the talented guys from different areas back in here that fit this system and that can play. But again, I think this would actually be a good pickup for depth purposes, because we all saw that we needed depth at one point. I'll say not last year, the year before, Arthur Smith's last year, where all our cornerbacks were going down. So you can never have enough corners.
That was all last season. D line and the corners was all
exactly.
Yeah, because there'll be guys that, like you said, doing training camp will get cut. We'll be always looking for extra cornerbacks to sign and bring them to the team to make the secondary better.
No, they haven't signed him yet, Wallace. They brought him in just to talk to him and to see what was going on with him or whatnot. But I think he definitely would be somebody that would benefit from this team or whatnot. So now let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. The schedule has been released for 2024. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and pull up the schedule. And while I'm actually pulling up this schedule right now, I think that the Falcons at this point right now, I'll be honest with you, I really feel like there's so many things that can come from about this schedule. Everybody's looking like, oh man, we got a hard schedule starting off. Here's the thing. To be the best, you got to be the best. You got to beat the best. You have to, if you're going to be the man of this, as Ric Flair would say. The legendary Ric Flair, the nature boy. So, getting into it, all I can say is the Falcons at this point, we got our first game with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I'm going to pull this up real quick. So, let's go ahead and bring this up.
Yeah, Pittsburgh going to be a very physical game, that first game.
Yeah. But the good thing is we get them out the gate when we're healthy. So,
yeah,
that is the best part.
No, I mean, I'm just throwing that out there, that little tidbit.
Oh, yeah. No, that's no problem. We know, that's going to be a physical game, and you already know Arthur Smith is going to run the ball. Arthur Smith is going to run the ball in that game. And they do have a capable running back in Najee Harris, and being a monster with coming downhill. Not a small guy, big like Tyler Algier, got a little bit more speed, and he can also catch out of the backfield. So he has weapons that he can use. The problem with that is, how dependent is he going to become on those weapons or whatnot? That's my question. So I pulled it up on the Atlanta Falcons website, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and we're going to skip the preseason games, not worried about those. We're going to get to these regular games here. So the first game is going to be on Fox, Pittsburgh, TV time. And with this being on television or whatnot, we got to welcome in Graybeard. Thanks for stopping in, brother. And,
what's going on?
And let's get to it. So the first 2 weeks of the season, we pretty much got the state of Pennsylvania that we got to take care of, gentlemen. Hey, you got Pittsburgh, home of the sandwiches, and a few other things that's out that way. And then we got the city of cheesesteaks, the Liberty Bell, and hot pretzels in Philly.
Rocking.
So let's break down Pittsburgh first. Now, Pittsburgh is a team that's very physical. It's a team that they've had quarterback problems for the past few years since Ben Roethlisberger has left. Now, the question that I have for you is this. Kenny Pickett was supposed to be the new future franchise quarterback. He's gone. Already gone. And matter of fact, he's in Philly as a backup.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in Philly as a backup. So when you look at it, he didn't want to compete with Russell Wilson. He didn't want to compete with Justin Fields. But you're coming into a situation where, dude, you're not even going to even get a chance to even start, because Jalen Hurts has already cemented himself in Philadelphia, and you put yourself back. Now we have to game plan for Russell Wilson to be the starting quarterback. Yeah, they're gonna let him compete, but we already know that Arthur Smith and Steve Weish put it out there, and it's not just him. It's been known that Arthur Smith is not a Justin Fields fan. So and he wasn't a fan of Russell Wilson either. But at the end of the day, he's got to work with what he's got to work with. So we know Russell got a bad rap in Denver because they didn't put any weapons around him because of his contract. They couldn't. Now he's in Pittsburgh. He has Chase Claypool. No, I'm sorry, Claypool's gone. You have George Pickens, and then you have Najee Harris behind him. You got Darnell Washington, that's a tight end for him, 6'8", and you keep bringing in weapons for this man. He doesn't turn the football over. Doesn't turn the football over at all. He's not a turnover machine. That happened in Denver, but then they went on a 6-game winning streak. What do you think that Russell Wilson is going to bring to the table with his veteran leadership and also learning a new scheme? And he's actually got I'm not going to call Najee Harris beast mode, but something similar to beast mode that he had with a little bit more speed. What do you think the Steelers are going to bring to the table in that first game? I'm going to let Graybeard start because he just came into the building.
Well, I know in the draft they try to address another need, which is another premium wide receiver. So then they got Romaine Wilson from Michigan. So I already know they're going to try to be vertical. They're going to try to be a vertical football team, along with being physical. They still going to feed Najee Harris. Not to mention they got one of our Georgia boys up there too as well. So I can two of them. God, dang. So yeah, they really is gonna try to reinvent that Steelers team that they used to be, which is running the football, strong play action, Russell Wilson being able to still be mobile to get outside the pocket. I see a lot of bootleg happening. I see a lot of tight ends, man. It's just gonna be pretty much what we should have been with Arthur Smith. I believe that's what we're gonna exactly. I think that's what we're gonna get. We're going to get with this team. And then defensively, Pittsburgh has always been one of the among defensively with their front seven and with their secondary play. So, I mean, we're going to our first 3 weeks, we're going against playoff teams that were going to playoff last year. If the Falcons ever want to make any type of noise, go 3-0 first 3 weeks. Go 3-0. Give the media something to talk about. And not to mention, if you turn around and beat the defending Super Bowl champ, come on, man. Come on now.
Now, when we talk about upsets or whatnot, now you just brought that up. We'll get to Kansas City in a minute. But we got to stay in the state of brother. We got to stay in the Keystone State in Pennsylvania because we got these first 2 games. Right. Now you've broken down the Pittsburgh side of it. Let's talk about the Philly side of it. Now, I'm going to let K-Dub get on this one, and then I'm going to let Coach Cam jump on the Chiefs. But, K-Dub, you look at Philly. The Philly dog defense, as you know, and they ended up getting Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back, who fit that defense perfectly at that safety position. They didn't want to pay him, and then they saw that they was hurting without him. After they drafted Sidney Brown, Brown was injured and didn't really play well, and then he ends up coming back, and they finally give him some money. And now, when Devontae Smith gets his contract, they pay A.J. Brown because A.J. Brown was about to be another Terrell Owens up here in Philly.
They paid both of them.
Yeah, that was because A.J. Brown was getting ready to become very disgruntled real quick. Now, both of those guys are top-tier wide receivers in the NFL. You pick your poison. You stop one, you got to worry about the other. Now, when we get to Philly, we've got to deal with those 2, and we also got to deal with Saquon Barkley in the backfield. Jeez. And then you have Jalen Hurts, who has been playing lights out since Doug Peterson has left and went to Jacksonville. And then you look at that defense that was stingy, but they've lost Fletcher Cox. Brandon Graham is on pretty much this is going to be his last hurrah. And we all know about that dog defense. We watched them for 4 years. So what do you think with the Philadelphia Eagles at this point is really going to be the challenge to beat these guys on Monday night? Because we already know Philly is a hostile environment.
Like I said, we go in there about our business, just like how you talking them up. I can talk our Falcons up. Like I said, they don't even really know what we got anyway, because you know what I'm saying. We under development, you know what I'm saying? We under construction right now. So even as Falcon fans, we don't even know what we got. We might be working with some hot sauce, like some real Tabasco type sauce here. So
Agreed.
we don't know what we got that we cooking up, and what Rondale Moore gonna add, or what some of these pieces that we put together gonna add. We already know Bijan special, but I think he's gonna be used in an even more special way than he was with Arthur Smith. So I'm just excited to see it. I mean, I'm not saying that Philly's not good, but Philly got beat last year, so they can get beat again this year.
Mhm.
I'm not saying they can't get beat, but again, I posed my concern with our secondary. Now I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Yeah, I love the Falcons. I'm a diehard fan, just like y'all. But I'm gonna keep this real. We don't know what our secondary is gonna look like, but we already know what their wide receiver core can do. Yes, they can be beat, but here's the thing: they can't be beat if we can't stop anybody.
Right.
I
We got
mean,
to
it's
generate a pass rush this year, which I believe they're going to do. I see you in the
yeah,
back, Wallace. We're going to bring you up.
but
We're, you
it
got to
sound
look at.
like
I'm
you
just saying.
scared.
No, 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 no. Oh. Mm-mm. This heart
Hey,
don't pump
look,
Kool-Aid. This
hey, look,
heart don't
scared,
pump Kool-Aid.
scared money don't
It's
make no
just
money,
no.
man.
It's not
Scared
even
money don't make no
scared.
money.
It's just calling a spade a spade. Here you go.
No, man, I'm
We
like,
have a okay. We got a first year. We got a first year head coach here. We got a first time offensive coordinator. Let's look at it. If you saying we cooking with sauce, let's bring out the ingredients right now that haven't even been used. Jimmy Lake has
uh,
never been a head defensive coordinator in the NFL. Yes, we got Jerry Gray. That's going to be helpful. But I trust Zach Robinson and what he's going to do because he was groomed. However,
hmm
when you're talking about at the beginning of the season, this is really rough when you talk about the beginning of the season, when you're talking about bringing in a guy that has not ever donned on the headset and was the man in charge. This is going to be his first time. And the first 3 weeks are pretty much going to be very, very pressure cooking for him. It's going to be a pressure cooker. It's either barbecue or mildew. I believe he's going to barbecue because Raheem Morris is not going to let him out the leash, let him off the chain that far. He's going to have him on a leash, but to a certain extent, he's got to get him comfortable because now we also got a new quarterback too.
no, I
So
understand.
it's so many different intangibles to go with that. And we got where did K Dub?
If hello,
No, you're on, man. I think you might have hit the button or whatnot because I just
no,
brought Wallace on.
no, I didn't touch that. But
All right.
no, but what I was saying is, I'm just staying confident until they show me otherwise. If they go out there week one and fall on their face and can't call a game, then I would feel differently. But until then, I think he put a rock star staff together. Sometimes you just got to know what you're doing and what you're putting together and have confidence in what you're doing. Like I said, they've called plays before, it just at the professional level. But if you got a continuity of working together, you work together in other environments with each other, which they have, then it should be number smooth sailing, in my opinion. But everybody's opinion may differ. But you know what I'm saying? Until they prove me otherwise, they go out there week one against Pittsburgh, fall on their face. He can't call a defense. He calling stuff that ain't gonna work. Because we know football. We know sorry. We've been sorry for 6, 7 years. So we're gonna see if the man we're gonna see if the man gonna know how to call a defense or call an offense or not. I just want to hold out hope that the man put his staff together. He worked with these guys for the last 3 to 4 years and worked with these people. So he knows these guys. That's why he put the staff together so quickly. Like I said, all I can do is be hopeful because nobody wants to see another losing season with the Falcons. That's what we
I'm
don't
not
want to
even
see.
calling it hopeful. What I'm saying is we got to be realistic about this. We got to see what it looks like first before we even say, oh, they going to do this. No, I got to see what it looked like because here's the problem. As fans in this fan base, and not just fans in the fan base, you also got to, like I said, you have all these coaches together. You might have worked with them in different segments, but it's different when you're with these guys pretty much 24/7 going through film, not just film, going through these battles because it's different where it looked good in the preseason and pretty much on the practice field. When you get in game time situations and you got that live fire going, it is a whole different environment and it's a whole different energy with that. And coaches sometimes even say the speed of the game gets to them. And even a new offensive coordinator, he has to be able to be 10 to 15 steps ahead. And that comes with a few other things. What's
and
going on, Wallace?
experience.
What's up, y'all? Hey, how y'all doing?
What's
You
going
know
on,
we
Wallace?
caught you. You know we caught you digging for gold on the camera, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
We
got
had you on the screen, man.
Oh, okay. Love you too.
So what's up, man? What you think about these first two games? Because we getting ready to slide to Kansas City next, man.
I think we can win these first two games because we got to look at it like this. Even though Philly going to be tough, they also got a new OC and a new DC.
good
So,
point.
so
Good
we
point.
catching them. Well, they ain't at their full potential just
Yep.
yet. So this second game, we probably can come out there with a win.
Good point.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Good
But
point.
Great point.
you also know that, like you said, all those dudes, they really didn't even make no moves. So mainly it's these coordinators that's catching up with these players.
Right. And then
Because
they back.
the systems that they're running right now are
Yeah.
exactly the same. They didn't change a darn thing. The only thing
Yeah.
they changed was the guys that was calling them.
Right.
And then
And the sad part about it was them boys. Think about it. See, we didn't do anything like that. I wouldn't have been mad if we'd have got rid of Arthur Smith in the middle of the season. They got rid of both of their coordinators in the middle of the season with no
Right.
hesitation.
right.
That GM don't play, man.
Yeah, the GM up here, Howie Roseman don't play. And I think we have a great GM in Terry. I believe he actually gives people a whole year. Howie don't even give you time. Howie cut your throat before it started bleeding.
I mean, you
I'm just
win
being
10.
honest, Wallace.
You win 10
He cold.
You win like 8 straight games, and all of a sudden you just lose the last 5. Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody about to get that.
And the bad part about it was they still went to the playoffs and still got cut. You feel me?
Yeah.
Right.
That was the bad part. Now the
Yeah.
Falcons do have a chance to walk in here, but the one thing that we also got to deal with is these refs being in their back pockets. Can't leave
Right.
cannot leave the game in the hands of the ref in Philadelphia
No,
at all. We saw that in the 2017 playoff game. We saw it in 2016 when we lost to them when we should have won. I was literally on the field and watched us get hosed out of that game the year we went to the Super Bowl. So anytime we come here, and it's not just us, it's everybody that comes here. You might as well, you got to beat them on the scoreboard because guess what? Them refs going to be in their back pocket.
Absolutely.
The only team they don't do that to is Dallas because Dallas is America's team, as they would say.
You got the bill.
So let's get to this Kansas City game. So week 3, we get the Kansas City Chiefs. Pretty much they get 2 weeks to kind of work on their stuff or whatnot. But again, we could catch them off guard like the Lions did. Never know. Because Kansas City always starts off slow.
Wait, they got a bye week that early?
No, they don't have a bye week that early. I know Philly's coming back from Brazil. When we get them, they're coming back from Brazil.
Boy, that time change gonna make
the time change is what's gonna be the key for us. But at the same time, we can't leave it in the hands of the refs either. But we're getting Kansas City right after, and then we get New Orleans week 4. So with the Kansas City game, we gotta deal with somebody's namesake on this panel, Mr. Worthy. I think he might be your long distance cousin, man.
I don't know, man. You know, but he gonna be out there though.
Hey, but here's the thing though. We already know that Kansas City, they always start off slow, but we know the veteran coaches that they have and the coordinators that they have, it doesn't matter. They always can make great adjustments at any time. That's the reason why they have that dynasty the way that they have it. We have to get in a position to where we can make adjustments because we have yet to see, and I'm hoping that Raheem comes in, and I'm throwing the word hope out there, like my man K Dub said earlier. I hope that we get to see adjustments happen. That's what I want to see. I want to see can we make halftime adjustments? Can we make adjustments to when something is going on? Because we've lacked in that department for years. We go back to the Mike Smith days. Hell, we lacked adjustments then, all the way up, really up until now. When is the last time you seen an Atlanta team be able to adjust?
Jim Moore.
Wow. Oh, God.
Jim Moore.
God. You went back to Jim Moore.
That's the last time you really seen people adjust.
That was the last time that we actually had a coach who would make adjustments in the game and at halftime. And you can tell when the adjustments are being made. But with this Kansas City game, they can be had because if you truly look at it over the last couple of years, more so
Mhm.
last year, if you look at the Broncos game and the Raiders game, the two things that defense struggles with is a consistent run game and um and crossers across the middle of the field. Those are the two things that burn them up every single time. With the way that we run the ball, this and it's going to be prevalent that we get a heavy dose of Tyler Algier
Got to.
and Bijan in this game. If you allow Bijan to do what he does, which is wear down the defense, that's when Bijan becomes so much more important to the game plan. Um, the one thing that I think all of us should be worried about is our secondary because you have guys like Miko Hardman, former dog, Xavier Worthy, Mr. 4.29, Kelsey. Like you have legitimate, and don't forget Isaiah Pacheco. He's a
Nope.
very quiet and lethal running back receiver out of the backfield. So,
Back.
if you allow those guys to get running and get into a groove early, it's going to be a long, long day for that secondary. So, I just believe if we can keep it close, don't give up the overly large plays, we have the chance to beat them. But again, it all depends on what product is coming onto the field because we don't know what's going to be there. We don't know who's going to be on this team. So we just have to see what manifests the first 2 weeks before we can truly look at it and be like, yeah, we can beat these guys. But Kansas City can be had
Yeah.
because they can be had because we've seen it over the last couple of years. So I
Detroit.
mean, Detroit had them.
Detroit got them
Detroit
last
punched
year.
them right in the mouth. Detroit punched him in the mouth, and it all started with the run. Jamar
Hmm.
Gibbs and I can't think of the other guy's name.
Is it
Montgomery.
Williams?
David
Montgomery.
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 Those two, David Montgomery will be Tyler Algier. Jamar Gibbs will be Bijan Robinson. They ran the ball consistently the whole game, and when they loaded the box, that's when they hit them over the head and beat up the middle of the field. So if we can copy that system or that game plan, we have a very good shot at beating these guys because I believe in our receivers. I believe in Kirk Cousins. I definitely believe in the run game. It's the secondary that scares me a little bit against these guys. So I'm holding out hope. I feel like we all Obama up here. I'm holding out hope.
Hey, you got to control
Yeah.
that clock.
Got to control it. You
Well,
Yeah,
cannot give
yeah, I
Mahomes
think
too
this.
much time.
Yeah, I think that's a key telltale sign. Great beard controlling that clock will be uh our main mission.
so I
Keep
got one for you.
yeah.
We got the two division games now. Next. And
Well, first,
I'm gonna let K Dub start this one. Because I gotta put my man up here, whatever. So we got them stinking gumbo eaters
oh,
down in the toilet bowl, as we call Nolans.
payback, baby.
Payback is a you know what. We split with them last year, 1-1, but we got something for them. And they
We
coming
couldn't
to
sweat
Atlanta
them.
this year. First game. And then we get Tampa here. So
Couldn't
we
sweat
gonna
them
talk
too.
about this here. I need a 42-point spread. I'm wishful thinking with this one.
Go for 50.
I know y'all laughing about it. I want 42 hung on them.
I think they can do it.
I mean, like I said, I mean, we got to go into that game with a mentality of we trying to win this division. Like I'm picking us to
You look
do.
at the handle.
We got to just like I said, handle both of them. We got to go take everything for what it's worth, and don't play around and go get it, man.
Man, go back to the last game of the Cleveland. That should be all the motivation you need.
Yeah, man. I'm like, if you
Right.
gonna if you gonna own this, if you gonna own this division and win the NFC South, man, you need to go slap them down and slap them down too. Both
I
of them.
don't even just want to slap them down. I want highway robbery without a gun. That's what I
Yeah,
want.
yeah,
Make them
man. We
think they
got
Adrian.
I want somebody to roll up like Debo. We done lost Calais Campbell, so we ain't got that big mean sucker on the defense like that or whatever. Roll up on them. That's my chain.
We got
I mean,
we got Helms.
Yeah,
We got Helms. You see what
hey.
Helms did last year?
Well, Helm's a bad boy. I'm talking about I want one of the big. I need one of the big boys. I need somebody with that's eyes cocked like a pistol. You know what I'm saying? Like Debo, big, tall, nasty. Breath might smell like the next morning. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I want. I want him to say, I want him to roll up and say, how did Smokey say it to him? Hey, we got about $200, huh, Debo? I got $200. That's what I want to hear. I want the dude that's like, hey, he just punking jokers, taking bikes, taking chains, just slapping folks. That's what I want in that New Orleans game.
Yeah,
look,
man.
We'll start a GoFundMe if somebody will take that 15-yard penalty to set the tone. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, man.
I will start a GoFundMe.
I want Derek Carr to sound like Adrian Bond. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting cooked.
Hey, sign me up, coach. I'll take it. Sign me up, coach.
Can we get somebody? Because here's the thing. Shout out to our boy Damian Mitchell. It's a clip that they show every year of the legendary Jim Mitchell, the first unicorn tight end that we had.
Oh, Lord.
No, he was. Okay. Go back and look at his numbers. He's ranked 6th in the organization with receiving yards, and he was a main source of offense when we didn't have good receivers at that time.
True.
Hell, Dewey McClain talked about it. Haskell Stanback talked about it. This man literally was Steve Barkowski and many other quarterbacks that we had, Pat Sullivan and them. That was their security blanket. He scored our first touchdown in the playoff game.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I got you.
And he's supposed to be in the Falcons Ring of Honor. They need to do right by this man. So rest in peace to Mr. Jim Mitchell, HBCU legend, Prairie View A&M. Much love. That man should already be in the Falcons Ring of Honor, as well as the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame and the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame.
I agree.
So all I'm saying is this. Go back and look at the clip when he punched that Saints linebacker in the face. Best right hook I've seen since Evander Holyfield hitting Tyson with it.
You ain't lying about that.
I'm telling you.
Nah, when Lennox Lewis hit who
we got coming into the building, fellas.
That's the best right hook.
Hey, hold up. As soon as I said right hook, look who done slid up in here. We got John the Cricket Preacher up in the building.
Oh boy.
Wait a minute. I had to take the schedule down for a second for this. We got John the Cricket Preacher up in here. What's going on, John?
Y'all be sure to. Y'all be sure to address that plate when it come back. You should
Hey man, hold up. Wait a minute. Do you got the building fund? Because you know you a cricket preacher. You got to have the building fund. No, you ain't turned a light bulb in the church or even put a new doorknob on the door.
This is for maintenance and other things that come up every now and then. The rugs need to be cleaned, the walls need to be washed, and
make sure Joke ain't riding no new Cadillac. 2024 Cadillac might be riding. Look, he might be over there on 285 sliding in that all black new Cadillac.
That's a different fun. That's a different fun.
To build me up fun.
Yeah.
Man, he might be sliding over there at Decatur with that. Y'all might want to watch him.
Well, if you can see through this 2% window that I'm gonna have on there. We're not even going 5%, but good evening, gentlemen.
How you doing?
Man. And I wanted to come in a little bit earlier, but I had some situations going on. But you're talking about these first 3 games. Mm-hmm. I think these first 3 games are the roughest part of the schedule.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. These first 3 are the roughest part of the schedule because number one, the NFL they some no good, low down, dirty suckers. But,
hey, that was on the schedule already, John.
Yeah,
you know that.
Yeah,
you knew that.
Oh yeah, but first out, the very first game, these jokers trying to start some mess.
It'd be funny if they do go 3-0. Now we already talked about what was rough. Now I pointed out all the negatives. I was the wet blanket, and I'm okay with being the wet blanket.
Oh,
But
hey,
if they start off 3-0,
if they start off 3-0, that
They ain't
should
gonna hit
send
the
a
injury.
message to everybody else in the NFL that we did the right thing by doing what we did in the offseason as far as our coaching staff as well as front office. Because against now I would say that Pittsburgh and us, we are similar. Not exactly the same, but similar. Because
hold on, John. Who has somebody singing in the background? Oh, that's Wallace. Man, I'm sitting there listening. I'm getting ready. Look, I was getting ready to start cutting up on somebody. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Let me stop.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
My bad. My bad.
Let me be good. Let me be good. Lord, forgive me. I can't be Razor Ramon right now. So go
No.
ahead and finish, John. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. No problem. We are similar in that we really don't know what we have. We don't know. My people, we were talking last night about this, and the fact of the matter is we just don't know what it is that we have. We have all these aspirations, we have all of these wants, we have all of these desires, but we don't know what we have. And we are going to get smacked dead in the face, or we smack somebody else dead in the face, game one. And the Philadelphia game, woo. Someone had suggested that this is a revenge game for all of the Georgia Bulldogs that are playing with Philadelphia as the, because of the fact that we didn't draft them. We didn't look at them, and that's an angle, but I don't think that's going to be a prevailing angle. And then Kansas City. Kansas City, as you guys have said, they can be had. Now, Detroit took advantage of a situation last year because the wide receivers couldn't catch a cold if the dog sneezed in their face. They couldn't catch nothing.
That's like bathing in COVID.
Lord, John.
I mean, it was pitiful. That Thursday night game, the first game of the year, between those two, between Detroit and Kansas City, it was ridiculous. Mahomes was putting it on them.
Tony.
In the worst possible place that he could. He was putting it right in there. They dropping it. And it was only, I guess, about game 5 or game 6 that they were able to address it and get some other receivers in, because that was just ridiculous. And if you remember the last time we played Kansas City, they beat us 17-14. And that was I think that was
with Arthur Smith. They struggled with us because we had Mariota at that time.
Yeah, we gave Tampa Bay the blueprint to beat them in the Super Bowl.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the thing is that the team that I'm most afraid of on our schedule, I've got to say, is the Atlanta Falcons. That's the only team. That's the team I'm most scared of.
Fabulous.
Falcons.
Oh, Lord.
Anytime you're 15-point underdogs in the bye week, I don't know what to tell you.
God damn.
We got everybody's favorite Falcon fan that stops by everybody's show. Mr. FMLA done slid into the building.
Okay.
Mr. FMLA.
Mr. FMLA. Let me go ahead and pull this schedule down real quick. William, man, where you at?
Hello.
William done slid off the camera, dog. William, pop back in. So we'll pop back in. So we already talked about the first 3. We talked about the first 3 or whatnot. All I'm gonna ask y'all is this here. With what you just said, John, you said we're gonna be the only team that you're afraid of is the Falcons. I get it, and I agree with you on that. Now, I want to ask Wallace this, because Wallace has been patiently sitting. He was being serenaded earlier, as we all were, by the background music. Wallace, How do you feel about how this schedule is going to go? Because we've got the NFC North in this schedule, as we showed. We get to play the Cowboys. We get
Mm-hmm.
to play the Washington Commanders. That's a payback for the Falcons, for us, all of us.
Absolutely. I'm not sure.
You know, Raheem Morris might want to get some payback because he's supposed to have another ring on his finger right now. 3. And then and then just look at it. Then we get the Raiders, we get the Vikings. If Kirk Cousins is healthy, you know he's gonna want that game.
Oh yeah.
We get the Chargers, we get the Broncos in Denver. Unfortunately, that's gonna be in November, so you know it's gonna be cold. We get New Orleans right after we get Dallas, by the way.
Oh, we need to beat them Cowboys, please.
Yeah. But the thing is, Dallas comes to Atlanta this time. We don't have to go to Dallas.
They beat us the last time they came here.
Exactly. And then we get Seattle here at the crib, even though we beat them last time we played them. I honestly want your prediction on this schedule. What do you feel that the Falcons are going to do schedule-wise this year, record-wise? We're going to get into this because we're at the portion of the show where we letting all the fans come in here, talk to us about the schedule, their expectations, and what do you think they're going to go to? So this session is called the Cauldron. And what a cauldron is, ladies and gentlemen, is a group of falcons that hunt together. It's very rare because falcons are birds of prey and they hunt by themselves. But if you get a group of them to hunt together, they're called the cauldron. So this is the segment that we call the cauldron, ladies and gentlemen. So what do you have for us, Wallace?
I think we can finish at 12-6, no less than 12-5, no less than 11-6.
I agree.
I mean, I'm right there at it. I'm right exactly. This is crazy. I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah, me too. I'm thinking 12-5.
I said 12-5 on my post. It's one game that I sit back and I literally was just thinking that I would say 11-6 because like John was saying earlier, it's gonna be a game or two because it's a new system, as we said, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. We gonna see a system to where, how can I put it? We gonna Falcon in one game.
Yep.
I think we gonna have a winning season. We gonna win the division, but it's gonna be one of the games that we least expect that they gonna find a way to drop that one. I believe 5 of them are gonna be close, and they'd have to beat us by a field goal because we've been competitive. But it's gonna be one game somebody gonna do something stupid. It never fails.
I mean, we're going to get a couple of new head coaches. If you think about the Raiders with Perch, you think about Coach.
That would be the game that I would be afraid that they would drop because that would be the game that I'd be afraid for us to drop. I think we should beat the Raiders, period. But again, as we said, we've had games that we were supposed to win. We were favored by Vegas to win. And what do? We
dropped them.
I honestly think we're going to win. I think we're still going 12-5 or 11-6. It don't change.
Yeah, I mean, either way, hopefully they'll get us in the playoffs and do what we need to do. But I just feel like they're 12-5 more.
And if we can get if we can get the win either out of Philly or the Chiefs, then we're gonna be right on schedule.
Agreed.
I was talking to my brother earlier, and I know I told him I was thinking 12-5, but when I looked at the schedule, there's a trap game on there, and I think it's the Vegas game. I think that's going to be a trap game. So I have to change it to 11-6, and then at worst, I would say we will go 9-8. But overall, I see an 11-6 football team because again, those first 3 games, that stretch is going to be tough, especially with them trying to tinker and get things right. We are going to drop one of those games. I just don't know against who. But 11-5 is looking real likely with this squad.
We got Mr. William Amy in here. First time we've seen him in a while. He's been all over the place, showing his Falcon love to every podcast and every podcaster. What's up, man? You might as well start your own show. Because you be all over the damn place, man.
FMLA show.
I say, man, we go 12-5, and the reason why I say that is because we got a hard game at the beginning of the season, I'm not really worried about Steelers. We owe them, and I feel like we need to put 30 points at home, and we cannot allow Pittsburgh Steelers have them towels in our stadium, man. And Philly, I'm gonna be at that game with Jack Spade. I not signed up for the Rise Up tour, and I will be in Philly, man. I hope I can meet you, the historian inside Philly, Monday Night Football. Only game I say it's a trap game for me is Thursday night against Tampa and Seattle, and
I
I
like
think
that.
who else we play before we get to that bye week. I don't even worry about the Broncos. I say only team you probably will have to worry about is probably the Chiefs. The Chiefs and probably that's probably about it. But the Washington Commanders, if we handle our business about a bye week, we need to go ahead and set Kirk Cousins, let the team get healthy, and just put Penix in. To be honest, because I think we're gonna sweep the Carolina Panthers this year, and we probably might split with Tampa, but the Saints we got to sweep them.
Well, the only time we gonna see Penix is in mop up time, and we really got to make sure that the game is in hand before we put him in, because the last thing you need to do is put him in a situation to where he's gonna get his confidence rattled. That's the last thing we need.
Right.
That's the last thing we need, because he definitely is our future quarterback. And the one thing we want him to do is start off on a high note. We want him to come in and we want him to start dicing people up so he can get that confidence.
You know what? We're going to get a lot of new head coaches in the league.
Agreed.
Washington, the Chargers, the Raiders. I'm like going to get two new quarterbacks with Bo Nick, the Heisman Trophy winner, and Daniel. Man, I'm like,
Yeah.
dog,
Hey,
we
I
cannot.
forgot we played Denver. That could be a trap game.
For
that
real.
could be a trap game.
Bo Nick better not be there.
Bo Nick's gonna be a turnover machine. I don't know why you would say that.
No, but I
better
just
not be
No, the reason why I say that,
Simmons.
the reason why I say that is because if you look at their quarterback room, you have Bo Nix, Zach Wilson, and what's the other guy's name? He's also a terrible quarterback. But they have the worst quarterback room in the NFL. Literally.
Yeah,
this has been ranked by the NFL and other GMs. They have ranked Denver as the worst quarterback room in the NFL. This is a game we can lose because we're gonna be looking past them because of who's after him. And I feel we gonna Falcon that damn game.
But
and see, that's where Raheem Morris is going to be very, very, very critical because he's going to have to come in and cuss everybody out and not let them slip, not let them discount these crap games. You know, not let them do that.
Hey, hold up, man. We got somebody we bringing in here for the first time into the cage or whatnot. We got Mr. Wolfman Clay into the building, man. You gotta put some light on so we can see you. Hold up. That ain't damn Wolf. That's Clayton crazy behind.
Yeah.
I know that face anyway. That's Clayton.
Wolf. I'm still Wolf. On the Xbox, you catch me as Wolf.
Yes, sir. What's up, man?
What's up? Y'all saying 12. I'm say 14.
Oh, okay.
I'm say 14.
Would you be willing to put your paycheck up in Vegas for that?
Oh no, I don't do that. But I do.
Confident.
I would love to go to Vegas to do that.
I'm just messing with you, man. What's up?
Because Kansas City, you got to think about it. Kansas City don't always pop off the season jumping.
True.
Start off slow. I said that earlier.
Very true.
Them and Baltimore.
Well, we don't get them until we get Baltimore in the preseason.
I'm sorry, Eagles.
Well, last year they started off hot as a firecracker. They always started.
I don't know. With close games in the beginning, they had a lot of close games. They just was on top of them.
What helps us out is think about this, Clayton. What helps us out is that time change that we catching them off of because they playing in Brazil
for the first time.
They playing in Brazil. So
we now
catch them on that time change.
Now, how much of a time change is it? Because in looking at it, they're just an hour behind.
I think it's like 7 hours.
It's between 7 and 8 hours.
No, well, you're going straight down. You're not crossing any time zones, are you? Aren't you just
going?
Yeah, you're going straight down.
Time zone.
Yeah. I think you're just going straight down. I think it might be just an hour. It's not like when you go across, But that flight, and plus if they mess around there and drink the water and get Montezuma's revenge,
Oh,
that'll
But
be
it's an hour. You're right. It's about an
it's about an
hour.
hour.
It's about an
Yeah,
hour, but you
it's
still
about an
gotta
hour.
understand it's a different
Oh
it's
yeah,
a
you
different
someplace
climate
else.
too.
You
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely someplace else.
yeah, that jet
You
lag is
like
for
it's
real.
the thing. It's not the time change that'll kill you. It's just really how everything is. They got to get used to it.
Yeah,
So
Right.
that's why I said we gonna catch them coming back.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they're gonna
If
be
we
down there
can,
for a while.
if
Like
we
And
can
we
make
plus
it
the
4-1
fact,
in the first 5 weeks, if we can make it 4-1, we good.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
like that. I like that.
cause
And
see,
South
hey,
America get hot in the summertime. I,
we are
it get
going to
hot.
finish
Hot.
now. Looking at the schedule, we'll be through with the division games
By week
before
10.
the bye week,
True.
except for that last Carolina game. We'll be through with the division games before the
Mm-hmm.
bye week, and that's
That's
week
why I
But
said
here's
12.
the
14.
thing: we
So
gotta win. But here's the thing that sucks about that, John. If you don't win those division games early, you
true,
gotta hope and pray for something to happen.
you
I
got to
don't want
win.
us to be in the hoping and praying state. I want us to handle business,
We got to
get these
control our own
wins in the
destiny.
division, and go on about our business.
We
That's
got to
why we need
Mhm.
control.
to take care of the beginning of the season.
Take care of business.
So at the end of the season, when Christmas time comes, when they doing all these publicity stunts and stuff, they can just chill back and waiting on playoff.
Tampa is the only team in the division right now that can really challenge us.
True.
Tampa is the only team. And that reason they can challenge us is because they finally got Baker Mayfield, and Baker actually fits what they do. And he's been in that system for a year. He went to the playoffs with them, won, and he understands that system. Now we know Baker gonna turn over the ball. He gonna give us one or two. He always do.
And a
Baker
fumble.
gonna turn over just like Bo Nix. That's a guaranteed turnover. It's
Boy,
can we put up points when these boys turn that ball over? Because
Got
Tampa does have a good enough defense with Vita Vea, that boy Devin White, and then you still who just got paid in the back, Antoine Winfield Jr.
he
Mm-hmm.
got paid.
Those three pillars on that defense are definitely guys that have been a thorn in our side.
Yeah, but and also, man, we can't let rookie quarterback do what Will Levis did last year and just straight up make us look stupid, man.
I mean, we ain't
And,
look
I'm
good
okay
with
with the
no
rookie
rookie
I'm
quarterback.
okay with the rookie quarterback.
no,
I don't
I'm
want us
not.
to go in a situation what we did with Josh Dobbs last year,
Oh
where
my
you get a guy
god.
that came off the
Yes.
street in less than 24 hours and had over 200 and some yards against us.
If they're rookie, make them look like rookies, man.
K Dub,
that's what Mike Smith calls an unscouted look.
hold up, K. I want K Dub to touch on that because I know I was hot
Oh
during
boy.
that game and I had to keep it professional. He let it out for both of us.
I remember that business.
That's the first time I've seen K Dub go in like that after a game. Now
Can't
he
make
get
no
pissed
sense.
and he say stuff, but you remember what we felt like when we let a guy off the street come in and just beat us like we owed him money.
No, he
Yeah,
was
man. I
about to
mean,
get the snitch count on the freaking skyline.
Shit, we let Geno Smith run on us.
Nah, this wouldn't work. Nah, this
But
is
No, no,
worse
no,
than
no, no,
Geno
no, no,
Smith.
no.
but
When
he
you
had an
get a
awesome
guy
year.
that's been
I give him
think
that.
about it, that guy
He
hadn't
has a
even
good
been on
year.
that team 24 hours,
Yeah.
well, like I
and
say,
he had over 250 yards against us in that game. It made us look stupid.
I was mad.
yeah, I mean, everybody was mad. Like I say, when you drop a game to a guy that just came off the street. I mean, it was piss poor. That's one of the things why this coach got fired. But the key thing is we were dealing with pennies trying to get guys off the street to play in our secondary. We've added better pieces. We've actually spent a little bit more money in the guys that we went and got a free agency to help this defense out. So we'll just see how the new secondary has been coached along and the defense they play. And like I say, man, I mean, all you do is, like I said early in the show, hope for the best, man. If they come out there and look flat, then I mean, we're gonna know it off the rip. So it is what it is, and we got to figure
Yeah.
out what we got.
Now that's one thing that
So the best
makes me sick. We came out flat, man. Boy, we.
John, we was as flat as a soda without suds, bro.
We was.
Man. Look, if man, whoo, I just flash back to when I was playing basketball or whatever, and you come out flat. Okay, y'all sit down. I'm gonna let these people on the bench go out there since y'all don't act like y'all ready to play. Y'all going on out there. You know, I lose with the bench versus what this mess
Losing with
y'all.
y'all. I agree with you on that. And here's the question that I have for you guys. And we already talked about the season expectations with the numbers. And you know, we're gonna bring this up because we're getting ready to wrap this thing up in a little bit. The next thing that I have for you guys is this. Y'all, so the toughest games of 2024. We already said the Chiefs. What other games do you guys see being the toughest?
Raider. I pay the Raider, the Charger, because they all West Coast games.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, but the Giants in December, they kind of look good in December all the time.
Yeah, but
The
wait a
That's
minute,
Giants,
because they
we
playing
playing
in
in New
that.
York.
Think about it. They playing that cold weather, and they literally trying to get to the playoffs to get up out of that cold weather.
right?
You better not get beat by Danny Dimes.
But
Well, the Giants ain't a bad squad, dog.
that's why I was
They
like,
just,
that's the
they
only
just.
game
And
that
then
late.
they got more firepower because they got two wide
Exactly.
receivers.
That's what I was about to say. Remember, they got Jalen Hyatt already from Tennessee last year as a
And then
rookie.
when they got Neighbor.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
you got two guys that could go get the ball, and they got another running back in New York right now.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough game. I take that back. Yeah, that's
I
gonna be a
mean,
tough
Think
game.
about it. One thing about the Giants is their defense. We all know the Giants' defense is always, it's not suspect, it's always good.
right.
I'm gonna
I
say,
think
I'm gonna say the Saints, man, because they always play a tough.
Man,
Well,
fuck them.
Man, them
outside
ain't
of outside of the rivalry games, because you're right about that. All the rival games are always tough. It never fails, just because we rivals.
and I still think it's an automatic W.
I'm gonna
You
say
know what?
the Eagles and the Chiefs. That's gonna be our toughest game. The Eagles and the Chiefs.
I would say Philadelphia. I
I,
think
I'm a, I'm gonna go ahead and throw one out there that don't, and nobody's even seen.
Chargers.
The
Nope.
Cowboys.
I was about to say Dallas, and the
Oh,
reason I say Dallas is this: Dak Prescott gets hot in the middle of the season.
He
He
do.
always gets hot in the middle of the season,
yeah, you're
going
right.
towards the end of the season.
He
And
got
if
something.
we can't generate a pass rush, Dak Prescott is really gonna be a problem.
You got something to prove, man.
Yeah,
Because you got to think about it. Him,
he's on his last
Michael
leg.
Park, Michael Park and KD Lamb are playing for contract. They're playing for
So
contract. Contract
at this point, right now, Dallas is trying to win something because at this point, Jerry Jones is getting rid of folks.
Yeah, he's all in.
Well,
Yep.
Jerry Jones got one foot at the Durham Morgue and one at the stadium.
The 1 yard line. He on the field.
I just want everybody to understand that when you onside kick after 10
Oh
yards,
Lord Jesus!
you can go
Ooh.
after the ball.
Lord, why did you bring that up, John?
I
Why?
mean,
I almost punched the wall, man.
That's the vision. That's the memory I have of it. Wasn't that the last time we played Dallas?
He's in
No,
Washington.
we played him in
He in
Dallas and got
Washington.
spanked.
Yeah,
The dude in the Washington.
because we sitting up there dancing around the football like Indians at the campfire.
We looked
Because
at the
he in
football.
Washington, we worry about him when we play. He's in Washington now.
John, you really, John, I really can't believe that you brought that up, man.
Oh
But
my God!
with the
Stuff
new
like that, crazy stuff like that. Just
What'd you say, Wallace?
I say with the new rule, are they gonna be doing onside kicks
Fair
this year?
use. Since you want to bring it up,
Oh man, stop bringing it up, man.
you want to bring it up.
It's got to go 10 yards, and it's close. Zerline may have come through. Who's got it?
Oh my gosh! And you had put the video on.
We had the game won.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, we did.
All we had to do was land on the football. Game over.
But hey, look,
This is the lasting memory we have with the Dallas Cowboys, gentlemen. And guess who that was? That was Zacchaeus crazy behind that was in front of him.
Julio was behind him.
Julio was behind him.
Julio was behind him. Olamide Zacchaeus had to dive, and that was Niesman.
They say dancing around the football. What you say, John?
I mean, they sitting up there, man. Shoot. I thought they had somebody. I thought they had somebody on the stake getting ready to cook them The way that
Boy,
they
Oh,
was
he's candy.
dancing
Oh, I
around
don't
the
want
darn
it.
football.
boy,
Man, I
we
mean,
got clown so bad about that. Oh my
man,
god.
oh
Well,
my
you don't want to go back to that Shannon Sharp roast. That's all I'm gonna say.
Boy, we
God,
go
yeah. Oh, jeez.
Adrian Bonner. Adrian Bonner. Hey, I don't know about
But
y'all, but we getting cooked.
man, hey, I brought listen, Artavius, I brought it up because John brought it up, and we said it's gonna be something that we gonna do that's gonna be stupid, that's gonna cost us a game.
Nothing but
Look, John been a fan for over 40 years. So John has seen every way that you can lose a ball game. That
We
right
all
there,
have.
that right there was a new way that you could lose a ball game.
that.
I'll give y'all this. My grandfather has been a Falcons fan since 1966, and he
God
was in the city
dang.
when they came in.
Gee,
He's watched every way that the Falcons can lose. And then when they did that, my granddaddy said that took my soul. It was bad. And he said that was the last straw. He root for him, but he said, I'm not gonna suffer with him no more. That play right there literally took all the life out of my granddaddy. Literally.
took the
He
life out of
watches
the
the
kitty.
Falcons, he will cheer for him, but when he feel his blood pressure going up, he turn the TV off and he turned to Perry Mason.
Few
He
people
already
have
said it. He said, I turned to Perry Mason to turn to the heat of the night.
That's the game that we
Yeah.
all like. Dan Quinn guy, I go.
Perry Mason, you guarantee to win with Perry Mason.
That's why he said
Isn't it
You
true?
guarantee to win with Perry Mason.
Isn't it true?
for all my 80s babies and my late 70s babies that grew up around grandmama house, or you grew up around the time and TV
You
where
watch
you
Perry
stayed
Mason.
home, Perry Mason was on and the heat of the
Yeah.
night was on
And
Oh,
outside of
Matlock.
the stories.
And Matlock.
And Matlock, yes.
Oh yeah, Matlock. That was
You know
good.
what I'm saying, man. But
We got to be like hey, you know what? I think we need to adopt that moniker. The Falcons need to go ahead and adopt the moniker. We need to be the Perry Masons of the football world this year. We need guaranteed wins.
No, we
You've
need
heard me
justice.
coin this
yeah,
this thing first. We are the
because
Perry Masons of the NFL this year. We finna get wins.
We need justice.
And I'm
Please.
look, I'm bold
you,
enough to stand 10 toes down on this. I know I'm gonna get laughed at. I know I'm gonna get clowned. But you know what? If it happens, we all get to laugh at everybody else and get the last laugh, because for some reason, I had to hear it at work today when the schedule came out. All the little Eagles fans wanted to bother me. Yeah, we gonna beat y'all down. Yeah, y'all suck. And I said, don't do what Kansas City did, because y'all got to see me every day all year. Told them that.
Man,
That's
somebody at work told me we're gonna go 0-5. I'm like, man,
What?
Who really says we gonna go 0-5?
well, they
a
scared.
Cowboy fan.
They are scared. And you
Man,
know
Dallas
what?
need to
You
worry
know
about
what the-
just getting a quarterback, because Dak is too inconsistent. Tell them to draft a real quarterback. Tell them to look at what the Falcons did.
I just told him, are you still all in? And he
because
walked off.
you know what the running joke about the Falcons is, because we
Joshua Dobbs.
we always ask this question every year. What's the difference between the Falcons and $1?
You
It's a
ain't
good
Four
change.
quarters out of $1.
Oh man. Oh,
now see, look,
man.
you got me over here.
Even
Listen, you got me over here about to fall out my chair, John. Stop it.
But I mean, because in the bye week, man, shoot, that's why when I always prognosticate as far as the record is concerned, I always, since we got a 17-game season, I'm saying it's 4-14, because like I said, we 10-point underdogs in the bye week, and we got beat last week. What was it? Interstate 20, Falcons 7.
Well,
Oh man.
well, let's go. So what we gonna do is we gonna take this vehicle, since you want to talk about interstate, Mr. Car Man, Mr. Cricket Letter Preacher. We getting ready to pull this car off the exit right now. Hey, hold on. You better make sure there's regular grape juice and that ain't got a little twang to it. You know how them preachers like to sit there and slip a little grape wine in there.
This was for communion last month. Let's communion.
Make sure,
He's drinking the blood.
He drinking the communion juice right out the cup. Y'all got to be careful now.
Now you need that cracker.
Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, I am the traveling evangelist, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. We are here at the BirdCage International Baptist Church. And we have the cricket deacon, John Harris, that is here. We are getting ready to get these things straight for the Atlanta Falcons with peace, integrity, and wins this year. You have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that we can't sit here and continue to struggle.
Amen.
You have to stand up and you have to hold up that Falcon logo, ladies and gentlemen. And you have to stand up and say, somebody, glory Jesus. Go ahead and pass that collection plate for the cricket letter Deacon John Harris's, his church. We're going to replace the doorknobs, but we're also going to have the pie sale with Sister Ruetha up here at the front, right by the silver 79 Cadillac Eldorado, right there in the front. So we thank you very much for joining us here in the BirdCage. We got love for you, and we're going to see you guys next Sunday. Well, I'm sorry, not Sunday. We're going to see you next Thursday. I am the cricket letter Reverend Jesse Jackson, the imitation minus the fro. You know how I get down. So we thank you, we love you, and we'll see you next Thursday. We out of here. BirdCage.
Amen.